Now we are. Welcome, everybody. It's Edwin and Mike. Welcome to
Jose
H-Town.
unfortunately quit the show.
Yeah, he's no longer on it,
Unfortunately, we cut
unfortunately.
the extra baggage off. He said something about doing missionary work in Guatemala.
Welcome
Just
to
kidding.
the Hometown Podcast, H-Town Hometown Podcast. No, Jose is on daddy duty. He's in the middle of, like, I think he said parent-teacher conferences, so I'm sure all the parents know how that feels. Not us, Mike. Not us.
Soon, right?
Yeah. So, anyways, how's everyone doing tonight? Go ahead and comment. Send in a comment. Tell me how you're doing. Anything new going on in your lives that you want to share? Yeah. So, oh damn, let me get comfortable. Yeah. So today, I feel like this week has gone by pretty quick, honestly. In a weird way, like it's dragged, but it's gone quick as
Yeah,
well.
I noticed that too. It's been slow. Like the days have been slow, but the hours have been slow, but the days have been fast. That makes
Exactly.
sense. Yeah.
Yes, I know exactly what you're saying. Like, I feel like sometimes work drags, but then like the rest of not work goes by super quick, and then I'm back at work again, and I'm just like, bro, slow down.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it is what it is.
I want to say R.I.P. Darkman X. I'm sad. I'm so sad over. I'm so sad because of that. And it's not like
can we have a 15-second pause and just for Mr. X?
it probably looks like we're stuck in place. Like, where my dogs at?
Where my dogs? I mean,
Two of my most favorite celebrities are DMX and Mike Tyson, and they have very similar personalities. Like they're very like tragic, but they made like the best of their situations. But their demons haunted them throughout their careers. Like Mike Tyson mellowed out now,
yeah.
but
I feel you.
unfortunately DMX.
So Iron Mike, I broke my back.
Spinal.
Oh, where? Vertebrae? Spinal. Oh, okay.
Oh, you know what? Well, we're killing time.
Well,
that's a good question.
We are killing time. Hi, Edwin C. Who it is? Who this is? Oh, it's Yuri. Hey, what's up, player?
Name one person you would love to have who's a celebrity, like a discussion with.
A celebrity discussion?
Yeah.
Honestly, I would like to have a discussion with either The Rock or Mark Wahlberg, just because of their entrepreneurship.
What's Mark gonna say? Like, hey, buddy, I learned how to park my car in Dorchester.
No, not because he's from
Let's go
Boston.
get
But
some
like if you
burgers.
think about it, look at he's in everything, dude. Like his entrepreneurship is huge, and like
I committed a hate crime when I was 18 years old against some Asians, and everyone forgot about it. Because I'm Irish, kid.
Hey, how you guys been doing? William says. Ooh, you're.
That would be Mike Tyson.
PR, for you to be able to show yourself like on the show, you got to go to facebook.com/StreamYard. And it'll allow you to basically enable so that you can show yourself. Because right now it just shows up as Facebook user. Like that's what it shows up right now. Just so you know. If you go ahead and do that, get all peachy. But yeah, so I guess let me jump in a little bit to what tonight is. We got a special guest on the show tonight, very near and dear to me. But, y'all might know her as the number one fan. We're going to have her on shortly. But other than that, I guess I'm going to open it up to the viewers. Like, is there anything going on this week or in your lives that you want to share? Any good news, any success stories, anything bumming you out?
Any questions you want us to answer?
Yeah, as Jose would say, we're here for the real conversations. So You know, nothing's off the table.
You know what I'm gonna say? I have no idea what Jose means when he talks about when he says real conversations.
Conversations that people don't want to have in public that need to be had. That's what Jose means. I know exactly what he means.
Yeah, but he's kind of cryptic, you know.
Yeah.
Because to me, a real conversation is like you're not being like proper or political. You're saying like what you actually think and having a dialogue.
Yeah, I mean, they could be that too, because that could be a deep conversation, and depending on the topic.
But I think with Jose, it's certain topics he's like doesn't want to talk about, and there's certain stuff he does that he's like that's not real. That doesn't matter, you know. Like Kendrick being better than J. Cole. I'm just gonna throw it out there.
To each their own, you know what I mean? I will say this, like, I know that he's here more for the community topics. He's more for, you know, the dialogue that needs to be had that people just don't want to have out of fear or out of shyness or out of you know, and it's okay because we have them. And
I'm gonna say, I'm here to become bigger than Jose in the town of Hudson. My goal right now is to get 20,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel so I can be bigger, have a more following than the town of Hudson.
I feel that. No. I feel that. But hey, it all starts somewhere. So
yeah.
Yeah. So
and then I'm gonna have Jose as a guest feature.
Yeah, why not? And like I said, he's going to be joining, you know, whenever. It's just he's not on yet.
We have a very special guest tonight. Jose Villanueva will be joining us later. Yeah.
He's still caught up, he says. Yeah, he's still caught up. My bad, y'all. That's okay. You know, it feels like every other week Jose kind of ditches us. So it's like my show now. But at the same time, it is what it is.
He's Batman and I'm Robin. He's Jordan and I'm Pippin.
I mean, I'll take Pippin.
He's Donald Trump and I'm Mike Pence.
Hell no.
It's just sidekicks, so it doesn't matter who the person is.
Yeah, I feel you.
He's Bill Clinton, I'm Monica Lewinsky.
I'm bacon, he's honey.
What is it, Talladega Nights? We go together like peanut butter and cigarettes.
Yeah.
Oh, like, no, those things don't go together.
Yeah, they do.
It's so much easier doing this every week, right?
Yeah.
It's so much more. We probably sound way better.
If you think about it, though, this is our 9th episode, really our 10th time coming on. And, you know, I think all of us feel a little bit more comfortable as weeks go by.
No, I don't think Jose. I think Jose said he gets nervous every single time.
If he showed up on time, maybe he wouldn't.
I haven't been nervous since the one we did with Johnny.
I was never nervous.
Basement. And I was more nervous because I'm like, okay.
You didn't know if we were going to get out of that basement alive.
No, I didn't know, like, I didn't think we were going live. I didn't even know we were going to record anything.
Well, remember, the basis before was we were going to pre-record and then we were going to set it up. It's just, it takes longer to do that. And
no, I thought we were taking pictures that day. I think Danny was going to take pictures of us.
Yeah.
But he never, I never met him. I don't know. Have you met him?
He never came through. I met him
on his YouTube channel, but he doesn't really post regularly.
He has stuff every now and then.
Vloggers, they post every single day almost.
True, true. He's more of the behind the scenes type, though.
You gotta get to work, Danny. Danny, I don't know you, but you need at least 1,000 videos a year.
Hey,
1,000 videos with 1,000 views is how many?
1,000 videos with 1,000. I mean,
that's 1 million combined views.
Yeah, that's true. Well,
I mean, be like $20,000 in ad revenue a year.
Yeah, true. I'm having a little sticky situation over here where I'm trying to get our guest on. I don't know what's going on here. But anyways,
in the back room.
She's in the other. Ooh, what happened here? Oh, Mike left. I think he's having a connection issue. Anyways, well, I guess I'm gonna fly solo for a second until he gets back on. So, anyways, everyone, I just wanted to say, happy Thursday. We're almost done with the week. I'm sure everyone's looking forward to this nor'easter that's coming, or it's gonna like snow in the next day or something like that. It is what it is. Mike's back.
Yeah, I unplugged my camera and it kicked me out. So
that's fine. No worries. I was flying solo for about 2 minutes. Yeah, so you heard there's like a nor'easter or there's like a storm coming our way?
Yeah, rainstorm.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's April. It's mid-April. Come on, guys. Like,
nor'easters happen, I think, all year. Yeah, I don't think
true, but there was
supposedly snow.
There was supposedly 3 to 4 inches of snow in the next couple
elevation days. On the mountains, like Mount Wachusett might get it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
true. Am I moving really slow, lagging right now?
A little bit. I will say a little bit. But anyways.
Oh, you know why I have 2 StreamYards open? Hold up 1 second.
My guest will be joining shortly. She's preoccupied at the moment. And hey, how about them Sox, huh?
The Worcester Red Sox, let's go.
Nah, I don't care. I don't know. I don't really like baseball like that. Like, I like to play it, but I don't really care for the teams.
You know what? I haven't really been into sports like the last 3 years.
Oh, dang. I mean, who could be into sports when the Dolphins never win?
Well, it's any sports. You'd think I'd be more excited because the Dolphins actually look promising with Brian Flores as their coach. They had a winning season this year.
Belichick disciple.
Some will say the reason why Belichick was successful because he's been with the Patriots from 2004 up until 2019.
Who? Brian Flores?
Yeah. He's been with the Patriots the whole time.
You were saying Bill. I was like, Bill's been here since 99.
I still think Bill Belichick is probably the greatest coach of all time.
He is the greatest coach of all time. Don't at me on that. He has 6 rings. No other coach has 6 rings.
Well, not even. He has 7.
No, he has 8 rings. Yeah. What am I saying?
Yeah. But a lot of people, I'm not a Patriots fan. Majority of people know that. I love hating on the Patriots, and I love finding a reason why the Patriots aren't good. With that being said, every sports fan is fickle.
Yeah.
And they seem more supportive when the team
Yeah.
When the teams are doing good, right? Bill Belichick arguably made the Ravens win their first Super Bowl with Ray Lewis. He built that team when they were the Browns. And then he did the same exact thing when he came to New England.
Yeah.
Right? So with that being said, Brian Flores is going to win probably 6 straight.
Yeah.
Tua's going to throw 6,000 yards next year.
We'll see. But anyways, this isn't a sports talk show. That's my show that I will be introducing later in the year. So I can always have you on as a guest.
There's going to be 17 games next year.
Yeah, I know.
So all the records are going to get smashed.
Stupid. But
every record is going to be broken.
No, unless they go 17-0.
No, like passing, record. Touchdowns.
Oh yeah,
rushing.
Maybe. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and bring my guest on now, peoples. I'm going to have her take the floor. Here she is.
Hi.
Hi, Jornette.
Hey.
Is it Jornette or Jornate?
Ooh, it's Jornay.
Hello. Is it lagging?
No, don't touch the microphone.
Okay, sorry.
I'm lagging.
It's Jornette. It is technically Journée. It's a French name, but
it's okay. Are you watching it over there as well, by any chance?
No, I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. No, that's fine. It's probably delayed because we're in the same house. But anyways, So you're our guest tonight. Introduce yourself to the viewers. Who are you? What do you do?
Who am
What are
I?
you about?
I am Jornette Cruz. I have the privilege of being married to Edwin Cruz, and I am a licensed esthetician in the state of Massachusetts. And I just opened up my own spa in Shrewsbury called Oasis. So book your facials or wax treatments because summer is coming up and you don't want to have hairy legs. And yeah, that's basically who I am. I'm currently a part-time nanny as well. And I'm just cool as shit.
You don't
Oh,
swing.
sorry, it's a family show.
Okay.
I'll
That's
have
okay.
to keep that in mind.
It's okay.
Anyways.
No worries. Mike said he'll be right back. I think he's having
Yeah.
some lagging issues.
I thought there was
So
an issue over here.
that's okay.
It was like double echo or whatever.
It was, but yeah. So obviously I know you very well. So I guess I will go ahead and ask questions that I already know. But how about Jose said the A1.
Sorry.
Otherwise
Yeah,
known as
you
the
know,
A1. Yep.
A.
My question to you.
Yes.
Why is it echoing?
I don't know.
My question to you is, what was the process for you to start getting your business up and running?
Oh my God, it's so hard. You basically have to do a lot of, I do a lot of the research on my own because once I get something in my brain, I just have to do it. I don't have patience in that avenue. That's my Aries. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to put that on being an Aries, but like once I have a set goal, I have to do it. If I don't do it, I kind of get discouraged.
Mm-hmm.
But so yeah, I basically just went on mass.gov, started searching basically small businesses, all the paperwork I need to get to, all the legal work that I needed to get. I started doing budget plans. I basically looked up everything that I needed, put it all on a spreadsheet and did my finances, and I basically just went with it. So
Nice.
here's hoping. No. Hopefully it blossoms.
You're manifesting that it's all going
Yes,
to work out. We're good.
manifesting. It is going to work.
Yes, exactly.
It's going to be successful.
Yes. And the grand opening is when again?
May 1st.
It's in Shrewsbury, right?
Shrewsbury, yeah.
Where in Shrewsbury, if you don't mind?
It's in the center of Shrewsbury. It's basically, if anyone knows Shrewsbury area, where downtown is, CVS, all the restaurants. So where the fork is that you split up to go towards St. John's and that big football field that they just put in, that street. And it's probably like 3 doors down.
It's also Main Street, just so everyone knows.
Well, I could have said Main Street, but I like to be descriptive.
So if you're driving from Marlboro, just go straight on Route 20 and just don't merge left on Route 20 and just keep going straight to
Go
Shrewsbury
right towards St. John's. Yes.
Yep. Got it.
People like Edwin need symbols and stuff. And
yes, I do. Yeah. I'm bad at directions.
I'm really good, and I don't use numbers on or GPS. I'm just like, yeah, it's this exit. It's that tree right there. That's where you turn.
If I have a navigation, I'm gonna use it.
You still get lost.
Remember when we had the navigation trying to go to Boston and it just wouldn't work?
Yeah, but that was when we had the like actual GPS Garmin that people remember back in the day when people actually bought GPSs. Yeah.
Yeah. What was that thing called? TomTom or whatever?
I think it was a Garmin.
We had a Garmin one, but there was the TomTom. I had a TomTom as well.
Oh my God. My mom always lost signal on the Boston tunnels.
Yeah.
I still lose signal in the Boston tunnels.
Yeah, I mean.
Every time I go to Seaport, I always end up in Everett.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why we ride the train into Boston now. I don't drive into Boston. Like Boston.
Yeah.
But, so May 1st. That's a Saturday, guys.
Yeah.
Book your appointments. I'm going to go ahead and actually, Mike left us again, but I'm going to go ahead and actually put up the site on our chat real quick.
Yes. And I'm gonna do a couple sales that I'm gonna be advertising tomorrow. I just didn't want to drop too much information today because my website just launched. But I got some stuff coming.
So this is the website, y'all. This is
Yes.
oasisat4d.com. So book your appointments. As a heads up, to book your appointment, you do have to put a 20% down payment.
Yes, a deposit.
It's a deposit. Just to book your slot and get work done by those magical hands.
Definitely. But basically, the reason I do the 20% deposit is because, unfortunately, a lot of people cancel or there's no shows. So I want to just set that up from the beginning. You put a 20% deposit, and basically what happens is if you give a 24-hour notice, I will work with you and you get to reschedule once, and you don't need to put a deposit down again. However, if you have to cancel again and it's not like a family emergency or something, you are going to have to put another deposit, and that deposit now belongs to.
You know what my barber does? He just does 100%. Oh no, I think they go through Squire and they get your credit card information.
Yeah.
And if you know the show, they just charge you.
I know, but I feel bad, and like I'm starting out, but my hairdresser does the same thing. So when you call and you make an appointment, they take your credit card information down. So basically what they do is they take 50%. Unless you have a legitimate reason and you don't show up, they charge you 100% and you lost that. So
Yep. And I mean, and I think that's completely fair because you look at it, it's people's livelihoods that they're doing their business is their livelihood. And if you're going to commit to something, please commit. We understand that there's, things that come up. We all know things come up all the time, but that's why you give them the opportunity to reschedule. You know what I mean? We have a question. Little bro says, when did you first come up with the idea of becoming an esthetician? How many years has this been in the process?
Ooh, good question. No. Okay, so basically, it's a long story short. I am like a jack of all trades. I've worked in fast food, restaurants, waitressing, retail, daycare, nanny, etc. I've had like a million jobs. And I also changed my major 1,000,001 times. I wanted to do poli-sci. I was doing the whole childcare thing. I even went to school to be a medical assistant, and nothing, like, it was just not pleasing me. I didn't really care for it. So I took some time off, and I still knew that I wanted to, like, whatever I wanted to do, I wanted to basically help people out. Actually, so yeah. And then I just, like, I don't know, randomly got something about aesthetics, and I was starting to get into skincare and stuff, and this is the beginning of COVID, so there was nothing to do. I started YouTubing, and then I started looking into the industry, and that's how I got into it.
Nice. This was before COVID, though. You were in school before COVID.
Yeah, but like it happened. Like once I started school, so I started school what? June. So the last week of June, the first week of July, because I remember we had like I went to school one night and then we had freaking 4th of July break.
And then 6 months later was COVID.
Yes. Okay. Technicalities. But so COVID happened, and that actually put school on hold for me. So it took me, instead of a year, it almost ended up being like 2 years. But I got it done.
At least you finished.
Yeah.
Stuck through it.
I got 3 semesters of quinsigamond in like a 5-year span.
Yeah, same here.
It's okay.
It's just I do so good in this. I do so good in the fall. I'm like, I think I was on the merit list, and then the spring comes, the weather starts changing. I'm like, I don't want to be here.
I get that. I know. I went to Quincy for like the first semester, then I reapplied, and then I was just like, you know what? I'm throwing money away, like thousands of dollars away. It's $2,000 for one class. That's wild.
Yeah, fortunately, I got grants because of my Mohican ancestry.
I can't even deal.
Oh my.
Colonizers.
Yeah.
I don't have
Colonizers say colonizing.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well,
So
We have
what
a
is an
follow-up.
esthetician if you didn't answer? If you
Yeah,
already
go ahead.
said that. Because I didn't, I don't know what it
so
is.
an esthetician is basically someone that takes care of your skin. Mostly on your face and neck area, like upper chest area, but we do learn about the entire organ and how it works from the inside out. So I'm basically a step below a dermatologist. I just can't like remove warts or do Botox or anything like that because I don't have a degree. But I can like give you facials. I can give you like a skincare routine. I can do back facials, so I can treat your back, chest area, um, and basically waxing services as well. So
She
yeah,
does the male bikini, Brazilian bikini.
You know from
I
experience,
do.
Edwin?
No, he would
Did she
never.
take it from the bottom and put it on your chin?
Yes. Yeah, no. So I mean, lots of services, but she no. In all reality, she does. She knows how to do both female and male
Yes.
services, and for the guys out there who have never had a facial, you need to get one. Like it's the
Yeah.
most relaxing thing. I swear to God, it's the most relaxing thing that you could do, and it's just a calming, soothing experience.
Yeah.
And guys, couples facials. I mean,
Not
during
even
COVID, you
just like
can't really
couples
do couples
facials,
facials,
men's
but
facials. I mean, I do my brother all the time and I give him back facials, although he really just wants a
Back
back
facial?
massage. Well, yeah, because people get back knee and stuff.
yeah. So
So,
she extracts the
yeah.
blackheads and stuff.
Dr. Pimple Popper, that's me, but I don't get paid as much.
Oh.
Yeah.
So when you open up, Edwin's skin should be like gleaming for the camera.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it should be.
Because it's kind of
Except
spotty right now. It's
we
not as
never
clear
get
as my
around to
face.
it.
Yeah.
I always feel bad. I'm too tired when I get home from work to do one.
Well, he should have to pay and go to your shop. He shouldn't
Oh,
get it for
he's
free
going
just because
to.
he's your husband.
Oh, I was her. Yeah, I was her first booking. But don't get me wrong. I'm the first appointment.
Yes, as
Um.
it should be.
Yes. I will make sure to get one once a week or once every other week.
Make sure you use
Once
a
a
shared bank
month.
account, Edwin.
Huh?
Use your shared bank account if you have one.
No, bro.
No, I'll use mine. No, it's cool. I got to pay for a service, you know.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I'm very excited for her. She's been talking about this for the last year or so, and
Yeah.
this really all developed actually pretty quickly. Like I want to say like a couple months back.
Literally, that it was
Pretty,
so
a
fast.
couple months back, it was like, all right, I got licensed. You know what? I'm going solo. I'm like, what? You know what?
That's awesome.
And we made it happen for the most part. Like she's like, lots of investment, but it'll pay out. Um, I believe in her, and she believes in herself. And if you
Sure.
guys know her, or anyone has, been around Jornet, she's just a awesome soul.
I'm a cool person. Just
And
kidding.
Shrewsbury's loaded.
Shrewsbury is a very wealthy town,
No.
or town.
Town,
I
I
think
think.
they're a town.
Yeah.
But they're
Um,
pretty big too.
but either way, I mean, it's a stepping stone, and
Good
you're
location.
here, and you're getting
Yeah.
ready, setting off in your career. I must let you fly like a little bird,
I'm a peacock. No.
and you
Inside
gotta let
joke.
me fly. That's so true.
I
No.
don't think
But
peacocks fly.
They fly a little bit. They get a glide. And,
they take off.
Like a turkey?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, turkeys do fly. I don't care what anyone says. I've seen
You
turkeys
don't know
fly.
they do.
I've
But
seen a turkey fly up into a tree.
you know what Joey Pernesi said to me when I play basketball? That I float like a turkey.
That's hilarious.
What does that even mean?
Because he like gets this far off the ground.
No, it's because like I look so out of shape, but when I jump, I'm just like going so slow.
Oh,
you know, he's like, you jump like a turkey.
Said you jump like a turkey. Oh man, great.
It's true. Can't hate it if it's the truth, right?
True. Well, yeah. So, viewers, do you guys have any questions for Jornette? I mean, I have questions, obviously, but it doesn't count.
Yeah.
Mike, do you got any more questions?
Let's see.
I know Jose would if he was here. Where is Jose?
Well, Jose would ask something deep. I can't. I'm trying to think of a deep question.
I'm trying to think of a Jose question.
I got a good question.
All right, go ahead.
So, where do you see your business in the next 10 years? Like,
wow.
Like
Franchise?
2031. How do you see it? Do you see yourself in the same location? Do you see yourself expanding different shops?
So currently, actually, I'm in a salon. So I'm renting out a room where they already do hair, and they have someone who does Botox there. So I'm the only esthetician. So my goal would be eventually, in 10 years, to have my own spot. So something as big as, I don't know, just like a bigger storefront, and then I would have more estheticians working with me. I would say a couple places open, but I just don't want that kind of responsibility. So this is more so like an investment for me immediately as of right now. And then I would like to invest in other avenues. So this isn't going to be my only investment right now. It's basically just my stepping stone. I'm going to get something bigger, have a few people work with me that I am confident in that can basically run their own chair or room or however they want to rent it out, and invest in that, and then start investing my money into other avenues. So
true. And you're also looking to go back into schooling as well, because you eventually do want to do Botox.
Yes, eventually, but who knows? I'm so up in the air.
No, you're down here.
Yeah.
You don't have turkey ups like me.
You don't.
I really don't have ups at all.
She don't. She has.
I know. I played basketball with her before. You guys are.
Wow, that was rude. No.
No hops. No hops.
I really don't. It's really sad, you know.
Some people are just blessed. There's nothing I did to have ups.
But like the thing is, blessed. I have strong legs, and like your ups come from your legs, so I don't even get it.
It comes out fast twitch muscles and explosiveness. So your leg, you could deadlift like 600 pounds, but if you can't like transfer your momentum fast enough, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's why it's so hard to get ups, because people don't.
I wasn't blessed with both.
It's the Native American genetics. I'm sorry.
Do you actually have proof that you're Native American?
No white person has proof that they're Native American. It's
okay, because you use it all the time. I'm like, wait, does he?
I will say this. So I did take a 23andMe test.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't detect that because it comes from my dad's grandmother's. And the way it works is it follows your Y chromosome to find your paternal lineage.
Yeah.
So we'll go through my dad's dad, because that's passed down continuously. So my grandmother's sisters are belonging tribes, and when one of them passed away a couple years ago, they had like a tribal funeral.
Wow, that's insane.
But my grandmother kind of looks like she could be Native American, but also looks like she could be like Mediterranean. And with records back then, people would just say like, "Oh no, we're not. We're European."
Yeah, well, because it was frowned upon back in the day, so you kind of lied about what you truly were.
But the rumor is that either my great grandfather was half or his mom was half, but nobody knows.
Yeah.
And my great grandmother wouldn't say anything. The one I actually knew.
Yeah.
And they just kept it all under wraps. But if you look at a picture of my grandmother, her like skin is like a different color. It's still like pale, but it's like it has a different like complexion. But it could be like she's Greek and just saying she's Native American too. But it's just one of those things that it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
It just worked out in my advantage a couple times in my life.
Wow.
It's okay. Jornet comes from Tainos.
Yeah.
Hey, this
And
is the
Aztecs.
Americas.
And Aztecs.
This is the Americas. We're all mixed with something, you know?
Yep.
Jose came from Mayans.
I have like 2% Taino. Maybe 3.
You have 98% Castro.
Yeah. He always gets that.
Oh, can we do a video where you do like a fake Castro propaganda?
I guess.
I don't know how we'll do it, but we just do
maybe you could do that on your podcast, on your show.
Like a video, like it's like a like propaganda, like Castro and the Cubans.
What I'm saying is we'll do that on your podcast, and you know how you said you wanted to make fake history? I'll be Castro.
Oh my god.
Dude, I have the. It's not fake. I have the greatest. I don't want to say it on here because this is
it's a family-friendly show.
It's a family.
No. I'm not gonna do anything like disrespectful or like arrogant or ignorant. It's just So I want to do like a documentary of Hudson, but I just want to do the history completely wrong. I'm just gonna make it up as I go along.
He wants to fake the history.
But I want to fake it in a way that if you saw it, it's believable.
It's believable, yeah. Just don't laugh.
So, but I need to. I've been researching how to do a documentary.
Yeah.
So you just have to record a bunch of footage and interviews and other things.
I will be your interview.
Do you like documentaries?
I love documentaries.
What's your favorite documentary you've seen recently?
Recently, I haven't really watched any documentaries recently, but I watch a bunch of YouTube channels that are like documentaries.
Okay.
So
Anything
right now,
you would recommend?
I would recommend a channel called Knowing Better. I don't know if you saw it.
And what's that about?
Oh, right now the guy's just talking about random American history. They're like 30-minute long videos. One was about like the Second Amendment and like other things, but it's not like leaning in any political direction. It just gives like a brief overview and historical evidence about it. He tries to be as neutral as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Or I watched like another one called 10-Minute Bible Hour, where it's a Christian guy who goes to other different types of Christian churches and asks about the history of the church and tours it and tries to understand like why there would be this Christian instead of another one, with the intent of actually learning and not trying to like talk them out of their religion. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm asking because I really like documentaries too, but I haven't watched one in a while.
Yeah, a lot of the ones I've seen on like Netflix or Hulu have been like really like kind of propaganda.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, do I really want to watch Michael Jackson? Surviving Neverland?
I watch serial killer ones.
Those are
that's not like I watch like the Civil War stuff and like
I love the Civil War.
Like Cold War era. I like war stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I watched one on Jack the Ripper.
That's not.
Listen,
that's. I like the Civil War era.
I like crime. Mine is crime mystery. That's my genre for everything. So
I like
if I can recommend a podcast for you, Edwin.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
It's kind of.
Where is it located? Which platform?
I think it's on all platforms. It's called Deep Cover, right? Deep Cover. And there are, I believe, 10 episodes.
I'm going to look for it right now.
9 episodes, okay? So you know Noriega and all like that. It's about an FBI agent who
Deep
goes
cover
undercover. I think it should be like Pushkin Industries.
Yeah, I think that's it.
No, it looks like this. Wait.
What's it called? Deep Cover. What is it called?
Deep Cover, the Drug Wars.
Yeah, so it's this one.
Yeah. So it's pretty much about FBI agent who goes undercover in like 1985 or whatever, looking for like break up a marijuana ring and biker bars in like Michigan, and he eventually ends up meeting like Noriega or people like who are like directly connected to him, and bringing that whole thing down. And it's about that one.
I will definitely have to look at that then. I'll have to hear that while I'm at home.
And the episodes aren't long; they're like 30 minutes. You know, you listen to it real fast if you're at work or whatever. That's how I do on mine.
Yeah, that's
and if you like history, one that I'm listening to now is called Real Dictators, and it just does like 40-minute episodes, like a couple episodes, maybe like 1 or 2 episodes about different dictators throughout history, like the last like 150 years. Yeah, and it gives you like how they were brought up, what decisions kind of made them end up the way they are. It doesn't like excuse their behaviors, but it gives you kind of a background of what led to their behaviors.
Nice.
Which is kind of goes into Jose's whole thing about damaged people and broken people, about how like that damage leads to that in the most extreme way.
How you have to tackle your inner being self.
Which is why I feel like history is so underrated. Like no one ever likes history, and I'm just like, how do you not like it?
That was my favorite subject in school.
Me too. It was so easy.
But I get annoyed because I want the true history. I think if we're taught the true history of the United States, all the bad things that they don't want us to learn about,
everything,
we could be at a place of healing and understanding that we could progress and be better in the future.
Yeah.
But because it's all like made to make us look amazing,
it's whitewashed.
We don't learn anything. Literally whitewashed.
It's whitewashed. It's made. Everything that we learn in the history books, for the most part, even when it came down to like something as simple when you learn in elementary school with the Pilgrims and the Native Americans and Indians, it was, yes, we took their land, but it was made to look like the Pilgrims did the right thing. Instead of saying, yes, they savagely beat and murdered and raped all these.
It's not even that. Like, think of Black History Month, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about when you think about Black history?
Only Martin Luther King Jr. That's all they teach you.
Majority of people are going to think of like the Civil Rights era, which was probably from like the 1950s to the 1970s, 20 years, or they're going to talk about like American slavery, which we weren't a country until like 1776, but in the Americas, like maybe 1590, if you want to start with the Spaniards, to that. But like, what about all the history before that? That's just not taught, or the history in Africa up until now. It's just completely neglected, you know.
When they talk about Black history, in February, and given the shortest month at that, when they talk about that, it's like American Black history, like anything that happened here. But we all know
we're taught Roman history, Greek history, Egyptian history, Mesopotamian history, because it all leads to American history. So you would think Black history going back to Africa with like all their kingdoms and stuff would lead to American history, because you're bringing that people over here.
Yeah, and the most that we learn about that is the Hutus and the Tutsis.
And that's only because of Rwanda.
Yeah,
which I've been obsessed about that lately. I've been seeing so many Rwanda clips.
Even then, that wasn't in regular history. We took like advanced history or something like that. I remember you and I were in the same class.
Yeah, that's sad. I'm still sad by that.
We took advanced history to learn about like the Hutus and the Tutsis. It was half about the African culture, and then the other half was about the Caribbean and Central America. That's the real reason why I took it, because I wanted to learn more about that. And like, it was an elective class. It wasn't like it was being taught from the history books. And even then, we didn't have that many people joining that class, because not a lot of people promoted that type of learning.
I don't even know why I took it. I think I just took it because I needed history credit.
You took it because I was there.
Yeah, I was like, what class is Edwin in?
We did.
Yeah.
I took like 4 history classes senior year just to get electives out of the way. And one class was literally Cold War era, but it was based on weapons. Like the weapons that they used and stuff like that, and it was literally just based on the Cold War era. I was like, whatever, I don't care. It's an easy A.
I didn't end up taking the Cold War one in high school. I almost did, but I'm glad I didn't, because it was I ended up taking the African history in Central America, and it was a lot more productive for me, at least. Yeah. Good old history.
This could be a good segue into like how we think we should improve education.
We should do a lot to improve education coming from someone
Stop
that's
lying.
worked in it for years.
We need to stop lying to everyone. We need to stop telling them that things happen a certain way when they didn't. We need to tell them the truth. We need to show them the truth.
We need to stop teaching to test.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say, Michael. Testing needs to go out of the door because, first off, you guys are putting all of these children in a tiny little box and you expect everyone to learn the same way. Then why are you testing me to see if I'm a visual learner, an auditory learner? What? Then why are you testing me for this if you're still just going to stick me in this classroom and now I have to learn with everyone else, even though I could possibly have a learning disability?
So and when you're in elementary school, how many different classes for the grades were there? Like when I went to elementary school in South Carolina.
So right now they have
there was 5 grades, and I think there was either 4 or 5 different classes for each grade. So we had 5 first grade classes, 5 second grade classes.
Well, okay, so it depends what
school size and stuff too.
Yeah. Because Clinton, I think we only have one elementary. Yeah, we only have one of each.
One elementary school.
But I think there's only 4 or 5 kindergarten classrooms. But where I nanny, they have 5 elementary schools, and I didn't even realize Holden was that big. Yeah. And it's huge. And they have 5 elementary schools, and then they all meet up in middle school. And
remember, in Hudson, they have 3 elementary schools. They have.
I think there should just be
Farley, Forest Ave, and they have already. Huh?
One, if we have 1 high school, 1 middle school, why not 1 elementary school?
Because Hudson is a bigger town. I understand what you're saying, Mike. It was just they would need to make a big enough school, because if you look at Forest Ave, look at CA Farley, and look at Mulready.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Make a big, because those schools are outdated. So why not just make
1 new big school? Because you guys just made Farley new, so why not have made that school bigger and put everyone together, and then just put 2 or 3 teachers in a classroom?
That's a good question.
Or back to the point I was gonna make about having how many classes of each grade. You could do testing in kindergarten and first grade. Say if you're a kinesthetic learner, you could go with a class specialized for that.
Yeah.
If you need to learn by reading, you could go to a class specialized in that.
Because do you know how wild the outcomes would be if you went to your specialized learning and you started to learn that way? You would comprehend and grasp so much more because you would actually be excited to learn.
Yeah.
As opposed to just sitting in a classroom with 20 kids, no one's paying attention. There's 1 teacher trying to corral 25-year-olds.
I guess the only thing I would say to that though is that's awesome, but look at it when you go off into the workforce or work world, there's only really one way to learn, and it's
no, that's what they taught you to learn.
True, but I'm saying
it depends it depends the company you work for. There's a lot of variables with that. I'm in charge of training people. I don't know if you've ever been. So with me in particular, I'm kinesthetic. I need to do it. I can watch videos. That helps a little bit. Reading, it just right through. I can read something and I have to keep reading and keep reading and keep reading.
I'm the person that has to act upon what they're doing. And even then, I'm also the person that writes procedures so that I could go back to what I did.
No, so I don't have to. No, I do. My memory is pretty good. As soon as I do something.
I mean, believe me, when you're working on a bunch of different stuff, sometimes you forget things. So I do procedures in the same moment. So right now I'm learning how to add in some stuff, and I'm creating procedures at the same time that I'm learning, but I'm also doing the work. But they have me basically just reading and doing it, and that's not the type of learner I am. I don't like to read things.
Yeah, so me in history class, me in English class, me in any class where I had to take notes, I was just I don't want to do this.
I took little notes. I didn't take a lot of notes.
But the second the teacher would come to me and show me how to do something, I had it instantly. Or I could listen to this used to get people mad in like English class or history class. I wouldn't read any of the books. I would just listen to what they're saying, and then I would get like a 90% on the test
Yeah.
without doing any homework. And I had a teacher at Marlboro High said, if I did homework, I wouldn't have a D. I'd probably have like an A minus.
Yeah.
Why do I have homework if I can
not
have an A in this class?
Meeting your potential.
Yeah, like homework has nothing to do with it. It's just something that makes me want to.
Homework should literally not even be a thing. I understand that they want to test kids when they're outside of a school to make sure that they're grasping everything, but you shouldn't. No, homework, I don't think
It
it should
shouldn't
be
be
a
an
thing.
everyday thing. Like, why can't you just give me one worksheet that I have to work on for the like week, or like 2 worksheets that I work on for the week? I'll get it done Friday. I turn it in. We do the test. We're on to the next subject. I don't understand why I need a bunch of
Even then,
worksheets
if you're
every
doing
day.
the work in school where you're told to do the work, you shouldn't have to do homework.
Well,
I
also, me and
understand
Edwin
taking your
classes were 90
projects
minutes long.
home. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Why
was
did we have
different.
homework? We had 90-minute classes 5 days a week. It wasn't like
What do you
college
think?
where-
So you can ask my wife when she would ask you, she's like, "Oh, did you already do your homework? Did you
Yeah,
or
it's
do you
fine.
have any homework?" I was like, I did it in class
I
because we
know,
had
or you like
90-minute
had study.
classes. No, we
That's
didn't
just-
have a study period, but like I
we
did it in
had
class.
cluster. We didn't have homeroom or anything. We just had 4 classes,
Yeah, and then every
Which was
Wednesday
so
we
boring to
had
me.
cluster.
and that was just like 70-minute classes instead of 90-minute classes.
Exactly, and all I did was go to the gym for the cluster.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, and you would always tell me you would run into the gym
Yeah.
or sneak away.
You could do it.
But like Mike and I, we would do the same thing. She'd be like, "All right, there's 20 minutes left of the class. What do you got? I'm going to give you guys that for the rest of, do whatever you need to do for the rest of the class." Everyone would sit there and talk. I'm like, "No, I'm doing my homework. Like, I don't want to do it when I get home." The information that we literally just read and that we acted out or whatever is fresh in my mind. Why am I going to take that home? It's been hours later that I don't remember. Now I have to open up the book to try to remember. No.
Yeah,
Homework's whack. I'm
that
so
was
happy I'm not in high school no more.
That's what I'm saying. I think homework should be relooked at. It, like I said, it was to prove that children were grasping, or students were
it
grasping
was to
what.
give you busy work.
It
That's
should
how
just be finishing your schoolwork. That's all it
Yeah,
should be.
just
like,
finish whatever you didn't finish.
exactly. And
But-
there were teachers that thought that same way. That's why they would give us those 15 to 20 minutes. They're like, "Listen, you can't have any excuses that you didn't do your homework. I'm giving you 25 minutes of the class to take for you." So I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm going to do my homework real quick," and it took me 5 to 10 minutes, and then the other 10 minutes I'd talk or whatever.
I would just take really long bathroom breaks during that time. I would go for a walk in the hallway.
Mrs. Sako had mandatory bathroom breaks, 45 minutes in the class.
Yep.
He'd march the whole class out, and we'd all go to the bathroom.
Yep.
That's hilarious in high school.
Yeah, so we had a teacher, Senior Tomas, and one day to be funny, he's like, "Oh, we're gonna go on a field trip because you guys always asking for a field trip." And then he's like, "Okay, it's time. We're all going on a field trip." And like, where are we going? He brought us to the bathroom.
That was
That's
Mr.
really
Tomas.
funny, actually.
Yeah, he's like, because you guys are all asking throughout the whole class to go, I say, might as well just go all at once.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I know. I remember Mr. Sako used to do that when I was in his Spanish class. He'd be like, "All right, vamos a ir al baño." I'm like, "What? Why? I don't have to go to the bathroom."
Felt
He's
like a
like-
kindergartner.
Yo, Mr. Sako is strict. He's like, you can't nod your head off. You can't bless
No.
anybody. You
No.
can't do anything.
Which
But
is crazy because when I met him, he's so nice.
He's
And, like,
nice.
he's
He's
just
so
lays
down
it out
to
there.
calmed
earth.
his ways down. He's calmed his ways down a lot.
He's a really nice, very interesting,
You
knowledgeable
know,
person.
there was kids that used to get to him where he would get annoyed, like he had a short fuse.
Mike's
Well,
like, yeah.
I never
He's like,
got
"Yes,
it.
yes."
Made it.
All
my Spanish
well, yeah.
teachers told me.
Oh no, I never messed with Mr. Sako. Mr. Sako was a great guy.
I knew him before I ever had classes with him.
I didn't know him.
He taught me English.
Like English class.
No, when I moved here from Italy, I couldn't speak anything.
Shut your mouth.
I said, hey, Signore Sako,
Signore Sako,
come stai?
don't speak the language.
Babidi-bidi-boobidi-bop.
I only know how to say swears in Italian.
I have a book. It's called Dirty Italian. That teaches you all the bad things to say.
like Like fangu?
Like,
Really?
mi piace molto fare un spagnoli. Which literally means I would really like to do the Spanish thing. But what is the Spanish thing?
Oh,
The
dear.
world may never know.
Mi piace molto fare un spagnoli.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, he's gone.
He's gone again. I don't know if Jose's going to join us tonight.
I'm saying, Jose, I'm very disappointed.
I know that he's like I said, he's still doing his parent teacher stuff, unless he lied, but I don't think so. He's not.
Unless he lied.
He's not a fibber.
He always wants me to come on here. Now I'm on here.
Michael, what is going on here? Michael, what is going on?
I keep hitting my it's still Prince.
I was gonna say I love that you have Prince, by the way.
My I need a new laptop. My USB is like not connecting to my camera. Well, my camera's still on.
So why don't you get a USB port hub or whatever, and that way you could just plug it into the hub?
I think because if I do that, it'll do the same thing because it's a USB port on my computer.
You only have one USB port?
No, I have 3, but I switched sides.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. So get a USB port hub.
Wait, hold up. I don't know if this is going to kick me. I'm going to switch it onto the other side.
Okay, it's going to kick you, but that's okay. Yeah, it kicked them. Yeah, I don't know. Jose's not going to make it, it seems like, but that's okay.
I'll just have to come back on here.
Yeah, why not?
Make myself a permanent guest.
The more the merrier.
Cruise Squid.
Well, I don't have any more questions for you.
Well, you know me.
I know. That's why. I know you too well.
I'm just dancing in the background.
I see that. Yeah. Mike, is he back yet? No, fratello. Come on, fratello.
Yeah.
There he is. Mi fratello. Oh, what?
Psych.
Mi fratello italiano.
I don't know what's going on with my camera. It's plugged in. I'm
That's
literally
okay.
looking at it right now.
We can look at Prince for a bit.
It's not letting me on.
Yeah.
Oh
my God, he's gone again.
On the road again.
Singing to me, Shrek.
Oh,
yeah.
Man.
So, peoples, we only got a couple viewers now. I don't know what happened. Why'd they leave us? Fratello.
Buongiorno or buonasera.
Mi fratello italiano.
I don't know.
So, let's talk about Hudson.
Yeah, let's talk about Hudson. What's going on in Hudson?
Yeah, let's talk about Hudson.
So, you don't like the rotary, right, Edwin, you said?
I don't like the rotary, but after understanding why they did that, then I guess it does make sense. But at the same time, if trucks are still going to get stuck, then did we really?
Did a truck get stuck already?
Yeah, like twice.
How many times do you think that trucks go through there that don't get stuck? So how much of it is actually operation error?
100%.
Yeah, so I don't know if I can
justify
Which I understand. I mean, I guess
Yeah.
on the old rotary, were they getting stuck as well?
I don't know. I just remember whenever there was trucks, there was always traffic.
Well, to be fair, though, no one ever lets a truck go because no one wants to get cut off. So is it really the truck driver or are they trying to maneuver around?
Jay, you've driven in that rotary. No one lets anyone
Obviously.
go. No one lets anyone go. It's my right of way, and people speed up to catch me off guard. Get me outside.
So I drive through Kelly Square every day, right?
Yeah.
Have you seen the new Kelly Square? How it looks like?
Yeah.
It's terrible.
So it's not terrible. The problem is people don't know how to go through rotaries, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, they speed through because they think it's their way.
Well, no, my problem is they yield inside of it now. They don't. They think they're supposed to yield. And I'm like, okay, you guys need to go. But then you got people like, say I'm coming off 290 and I'm going in. This happened today. Someone going around it, coming like around Kelly Square.
Yeah.
They stopped for me to go, and I'm like, you need to go. Like,
and then
the people on the side where the like rings over Worcester, that road was it on Canal Street.
Yep.
They just fly through, right? They think they just go. So it's just people. The problem with rotaries is people don't know how to go through them.
But isn't there signs that show you what to do?
Well, think of this. We're from Hudson. We have to go through rotaries, right? That's part of us driving, especially where we lived. We lived on Pope Street, so we had to go through the rotary.
Yeah.
Right?
There's a rotary in Stowe or in Berlin. Yeah,
but like for me and you, when we first got our license, like every time we wanted to go somewhere, unless we wanted to cut through the bank, we had to go through the rotary. So we had to actually learn the actual proper rotary. Like
I learned how to use a rotary in driver's ed.
I never took driver's ed, but I know the basics. Like outside of the rotary, you yield because inside has right of way. Simple.
Yeah. Basically, what Michael is trying to say, unless you freaking have a rotary around you disposable that you have to go through every day, no one knows how to work a rotary. And in Worcester, there really wasn't a rotary before, so all of these people don't know how to work one.
Yeah,
you learn about it on driver's ed or in your driver's manual, but unless you do something for the first time, you don't know what to do.
And this is a complicated one too. There's like 8 different.
Yeah, the one on Kelly Square is because it's not really round.
It's a peanut shaped.
Yeah. Where'd Jornet go?
Oh, Cameron. Well, besides the rotary, let's say this, right? So we were talking last day with Ricky. We're talking about like the price of living and all that stuff. We're talking. One thing I wanted to say, where I kind of got another conversation manifested, which was a good conversation. I don't remember it, but I wanted to say that Hudson is getting to the point where people aren't going to have their roots in Hudson.
That's what we were talking about.
Well, no, I was saying like it went to like a different thing because he was like talking about like workers wanting to be there.
Yeah.
My point was like, me, you, Jose wanted to move out of Hudson. Like, I never really wanted to move out of Hudson. If it was up to me, I would get a house in Hudson.
Same.
My family would be raised in Hudson. We all go to the same school and all that stuff. And that's because I haven't really had roots anywhere.
Yeah.
Like my mom has roots in Hudson.
Yeah.
But I was disconnected. I was brought to South Carolina, so it kind of like severed it for me.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like where my wife eventually wants to buy a house within the next couple of years. Yeah. So eventually we're going to have to set up our foundation somewhere. And for me, Hudson, Marlboro will be ideal. Hudson more because I'm from Hudson, but I'm also Marlboro is the same thing or so.
Yeah. So I don't know if maybe you were having
I think it's disconnected
like last week. I did bring this up. This is one of the conversations that we had with Ricky, and it was the fact that like he said, his family has been in Hudson. He grew up in Hudson.
His family is not, but he talked about not being from Hudson, not having roots, and not having connections.
No. But I brought up this. I said, look at this. We didn't have roots in Hudson, but like I grew up in Hudson. So naturally, it was for me to stay in Hudson, have my family and kids in Hudson as well, and continue that, continue the roots, continue the groundwork there. And what I said was, look at how many kids grew up in Hudson, and ask me if they're still living there today, or even raising their children.
Yeah, I remember that part.
And it was a big numbers. No, either they're spread out, across Massachusetts, or they moved away, or however. And I mean, I'd like to live in Hudson as well, but do you think I want to pay for a $450,000 house that I could get for $280 or $300 in Worcester? No.
And there's more to do in Worcester. You think Worcester would be more expensive than Hudson because there's more to do here.
Yeah.
We have a commuter rail. We have more restaurants.
Well, remember, a lot of it has to do with the crime rate and the fact that
let's say this, right? If you buy a house in Worcester, you're not buying it in my neighborhood. You're buying it by Shrewsbury. You're buying it by Holden. You're buying it by Leicester.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So
no one's buying it. But at the same time, like, I feel like it's just
Ideally, if I was to move to Worcester, to be near Salisbury Street
Yeah.
or near the airport.
Yeah.
Where it's quiet.
Somebody got murdered by the airport like a month ago.
Yeah, but
someone's gonna get murdered anyway.
We used to get murders in Hudson all the time. Every couple.
Yeah.
No,
few
you
years.
did not. You got like
Ask
one.
Mike. Every few years, somebody was murdered.
Every few?
Every few years.
I know someone who got stabbed by someone else I know in Hudson.
Oh, I think Edwin, you told me about this at a bar.
No, there was the one at the firehouse. I don't know about that one.
There was one that happened at like Medusa or whatever, something like that.
Yeah,
like 2003. I know someone who got stabbed.
Jeez.
I mean, I know someone that got decapitated in Hudson, but I'm not going to go there.
What the heck?
Was it Cholo?
Okay.
Was it what?
We're not going to say names.
We're not going to say names.
Did he get in Hudson or was it in another country?
No, it was in Hudson. It was over where the complex buildings.
Yeah. Down the street from my grandma's. Yeah.
Yes. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that was sad.
And that wasn't the only one. There was other murders in Hudson. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're gonna it'll happen anywhere. But
realistically, 290 is not that long.
Realistically, you're still having way more crime in Worcester than Hudson, and that's the reason why Hudson is a lot more expensive. But at the same time, with them rebuilding the sidewalks and rebuilding the Rotary and bringing more business into the town, they don't realize they're driving up the price, but they're not really.
I think they do realize it. I think this is what they want, though.
There's going to be more crime in Hudson because it's too expensive. It's eventually going to happen. Yeah, this happens everywhere. People, where me and Edwin grew up, we're not rich, right?
No, I know that.
Right? The families living there, like the youth living there.
We grew up on the bad side of Hudson. That's what it's known as, the bad side.
They're going to have resentment. And then you're going to have all these people who aren't from Hudson eventually becoming targets. And kids now are more ruthless than we were. Like, they don't care. Yeah. And that's a part of the reason why the crime rate in major cities is up, because the youth is just crazy. And eventually that is going to happen in Hudson because it's the lack of disconnect. Like, they're neglecting the people who are there in favor of people with more money.
Yep.
And you're walking home, you walk into your car at 1 o'clock in the morning, you're an easy target. And there's a drug problem in Hudson, and drug addicts need money.
Which is true.
True. I guess I was looking at it as like they're driving up the prices, so they're gonna basically push away all of the.
But they've already been doing that.
And the low class families, so.
They've already been doing that.
I know, but with fixing it up more and investing more money, they can get away with charging more, although it's not fair. But
now your family owns a house, and you are lower income, but you're raised lower income, but you're like 15, 16 years old. You're struggling, whatever. You have negative influences. You're like me. When I was like 15 years old, I was running around downtown. It was dead. There was nothing to do there. Now there's people who are targets. And with the rise in drug addiction, it's going to lead to people doing that.
No, I get what you're saying.
Unfortunately, I mean, I understand what you're saying. It's going to end up leading to people getting mugged or robbed or whatever. It maybe not be a violent crime, but it's going to happen because the more nightlife there is, the more that there's something's going to happen.
And you bring people from other towns into it.
And that's the other thing too. The more that a surrounding area gets more publicity and exposure, you're going to bring other people from other towns and cities coming in. And, we don't know everyone's intention. But at the same time, I feel like the funny thing is, like, just go back 10 years to 15 years ago. The people that were middle class back then, would you consider them middle class now? Like, look at what middle class was in Hudson. Look at what middle class was in Hudson 10 to 15 years ago. And now look at it now. I feel like they're more on the lower class to middle.
I was gonna say, well, it depends.
I considered myself middle class, but my mom made like $25,000.
I was gonna say it depends.
I was poor, but I thought my middle class.
Yeah.
As a kid, I thought I was middle class, but like now that I grew up, I know that I was maybe middle class, but I was like definitely on the lowest side of middle class.
I'll say it like this. If you received any sort of government assistance or any type of program, your family had any type of program that assisted with them, you were not middle class.
Let's say this.
Poor, but you were on the low class. Huh? Yeah, I had free lunch.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I never had to pay dues for sports because I never had to do anything.
Same. And
any field trip, I had a waiver. I had waivers for everything.
I would consider that lower class. I wouldn't consider that poor or middle class. I would consider that lower class. But I'm talking about like even people that we knew that where their families were middle class. You know, combined together, their parents were making about 130, 140,000 a year, or whatever. Now, what?
That's a lot.
I'm saying that's not middle class.
I think middle class goes
that's
from
what I consider middle class. Where both of them
I think a middle class is literally blue
50 to 75,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, but each person, not combined.
No, combined.
No, because I mean,
dude,
I guess
on mass.gov, that's what it is.
Like I know some people have it like 50 to like 120,000.
Dude, I do not consider myself middle class right now. And what per mass?
Yeah, it's because you're having the expectation of like a picket fence and a house and all of that.
Yeah, you're trying to live the American dream.
Yeah, Jose said it doesn't exist. Okay,
it does not exist.
It exists because he just has it misinterpreted.
They portrayed it incorrectly.
No.
I think everyone has their own dream of the American dream because everyone holds success and stuff to different standards. Because like my definition of success is going to be different from Michael's, from yours, like from anybody.
So let's all give our definition of American dream, and we're all doing the perspective of an immigrant coming to this country.
Wait,
Edwin, you go first. You're coming from Cuba.
Hi, Cuba.
Because you look like Castro.
All right, but first off, did I land in Florida? Am I a citizen now?
You're so.
It's the 1930s. The communist revolution hasn't happened.
No. All right, we're gonna say the 50s and 60s. All right, I landed in Florida. I'm now an American.
Well, that would be like the 80s and 70s.
So what are you, Scarface?
Yeah.
All right, well, I guess I'm still illegal then.
Your grandfather coming to America from Cuba.
The American dream for me, I guess back then, would be having the sense of hope or even the sense of the ability that you can change your life from what it was where you came from. So I'll give you, communism in Cuba, everyone, unless you're in the upper class, everyone makes the same. Everyone has the same rights. Everyone makes the same. But say
what your American dream is. Don't talk about Cuba.
That's what I'm saying. I'm leading up to it.
We're talking about Cuba, dude.
Yes, you said I was Cuban. So they're leaving a communist country to come here because they feel, or I feel, that I have a better opportunity to excel in being able to provide my family more. And it doesn't necessarily mean more by money or class. It means more opportunity, maybe more rights, and not being dictated by a communist.
Okay. And do you think that exists in Miami? Even today?
Yeah.
Even today. Okay. So that's similar to what I think the American dream is. You coming here and you have the opportunity to change from being a peasant in Italy, which my family was. I actually found out the city my family's from the other day, but that's different. But we were pretty much peasants in Italy, in Ireland, and we came here, and we had the ability, or they had the ability, to start with nothing and become let's say middle class. Like some of their descendants.
Some of them did better than others.
Let's say this. Ready? My grandma's first cousin is Governor Salucci, right? They are first cousins. So I might not have the same prosperity that branch had.
Yeah.
But you can't look at them like, oh, we were peasants in Italy. We came to the United States, and within 2 generations, I'm the governor of the Commonwealth, right? I think a lot of people think the American dream is like if you work hard, you're gonna be rich.
Yeah.
But I think it's if you put enough effort in, you can sustain yourself and make a better foundation for the next generation. I don't think it was ever meant to be like you're Jay-Z or you're J. Cole or you're gonna have. And I think that's just the confusion our generation had, is that we think we should be successful because why not?
Yeah, and that's what I was getting up to. Like, say you're leaving your country, a communist country or whatever. Yes, you're coming here with nothing, but you have the at least hope that you're going to build something. Whereas over there, you come from nothing and you keep nothing because everything is being taken from you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So with that sense, what I believe, what you said as a Cuban is pretty much it exists, but it's not what we or our generation thinks it is.
Yeah, because it was portrayed wrong to us.
But was it? Or is it just?
I guess it's because when people talk about the American dream, they really talk about more of the success stories. Whereas who's to determine what a success story really is?
Like SNF Concrete, like you think that guy's gonna have that company in the Azores?
Does he?
No, he came to the United States. He built that company, and like half the town is the largest concrete company in the Northeast, right?
Yeah.
So I think we're not like totally, was it meritocratic? I can't think of the word, society where our merit determined. And I was having this conversation with my dad because he believes like if you're not ambitious enough and you don't want like a career, then you don't deserve it. And I'm on the place like we need to care more for the workers and pay them more to build up the United States instead of this.
Yeah, because the United States runs off of the labor workers, runs off the workers.
Yeah, well, because mine was like you shouldn't work full time and not be able to be middle class, right?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what your job is. If you're working full time, you should not be middle class. And in my job specifically, we have like 7 part-time associates who are fighting over getting like 60 hours, right? When we could have like 1 or 2 full-time associates who are working and sustaining themselves. Like how many of those have to work another job because they're not making enough part-time?
Yeah.
But
then you have to pay the benefits.
Yeah,
and then you have
you don't want to pay up.
Remember, it's
still paying.
As funny as it sounds, it's cheaper in the long run.
Is it though? Because if you make more money, you can spend more money.
True, but then you have to pay them all. You have to pay them all benefits. Then you have to pay. Then you have to open up 401ks for them if you guys have that. Then you have to also provide them vacation hours. You're paying them to not go to work. 3 weeks, up to 3 weeks a year, or I don't know what it starts out at, 2 to 3 weeks a year. Whereas part-time workers don't get vacation.
Yeah, but part-time workers don't have money to spend.
True, but I'm still telling you.
So like my thought is like everyone says it takes money to make money. Mm-hmm. So I always thought like you take that loss, like cutting the workforce, having more full-time workers instead of part-time workers, and then paying them more. So when in the long run, like say you own a landscaping business, right? If majority of workers aren't making enough for themselves, they're not going to be able to pay for you to cut their grass.
Yeah.
They're not going to be able to go to the bakery and get bread. So now you're destroying small businesses because the workforce isn't making enough to sustain small businesses. It's going to be like a select few who are the 10% of people who are making enough.
True. No. Very true.
In that sense, I don't think the American dream exists.
Jordan, what do you think the American dream is?
I don't know. No, I don't know. Like I was saying earlier, it's kind of viewed differently from person to person because everyone has their own opinion and their own way they measure success. So, but initially, obviously, it's the whole hope and saying that you do better than the last generation, and then you raise this generation to do better than your generation and break generational wealth and barriers and all of this stuff. Because honestly, I'm tired of history being repeated. So
Same.
hopefully we can learn, because I don't understand how we're fighting the same without swearing fight that we were fighting like in the 50s and 60s. I just don't understand in general how we're still doing all of
The
this.
one thing I will say in the 50s and 60s, but this is something on our generation that we need to come up with and do better, is that there were families who had the fathers, because a lot of the women didn't work. The fathers were grocery store workers, and they owned a house and were able to provide food to their
It's because
family.
they were making more.
Exactly. The cost of living was less compared to what they were, like it evened out compared to what they were making compared to now. Where the
Somewhere
cost of
along
living,
the lines, basically, we stopped getting paid
it went like
enough
this.
to live.
We were all right here, cost of living being paid. Cost of living started going up, and we little by little started going pay. No, but we're never caught up. That's the problem.
I think another
And
reason
now
for
it's
that
going
too
like
is-
this, and we're still down here. We're still here.
And I mean that in every avenue, like every aspect of life, whether it's education, like a degree is so, I think it's like 100 times or something like that. I was reading in an article, percent more than it used to cost, but it doesn't even mean anything anymore because it's oversaturated.
And Mike, that goes to what you were saying, and the fact that people that are labor workers need to get paid more.
Well, I think another problem is we don't keep wealth in the community, right?
Yeah.
And that's not like to say like let's keep all the wealth in Hudson, but there's Market Basket, Shaw's, Stop and Shop, Walmart, all grocery stores. They all have a bakery inside of it. They all have a deli inside of it. They all have groceries inside it. Back in the day, you had a bakery, you had a deli, you had a butcher shop that was run by a family, and people went there to shop. It might have cost a little more, but that money was circulated around the community.
Yeah.
Right. And people who didn't work in like the major workforce now, I think is retail. Like people are working for Amazon and they're working for Walmart and they're working for grocery stores. Those people were working in factories, manufacturing stuff.
Yep.
Right. So they're taking the money from their factories that they were making. They were spending it in local shops. Those shops were hiring people from their neighborhood, and that money just went to everybody's pockets. And now it doesn't. Like you have Market Basket, who has probably like 300 people working there, making maybe like $100,000 a day selling groceries.
Yeah.
When all that money could go to like Silver's Bakery, Central Street Market.
Yeah.
But it also, like I said, it's still the fact that the amount of pay never caught up to, and also look at the people that have taken advantage of this that own these big factories. They realize that pay never caught up, so they're still paying. Like to this day, there's still people at Ken's Food making $13 to $14 an hour as a laborer. Yeah, maybe 10 years ago they were making $8. Like 10 to 15 years ago they were making $8 an hour. But was cost of living that much more? No.
It's because it's basically like take whatever you can right now.
Well, yeah, and you also have people whose job it is to find the cut cost and make a profit out of that. So like they're like, okay, if we neglect the workers for a couple of years, we can make X amount of dollars and we'll have more money coming into our pockets. And they're really people who don't contribute to the business besides lining their own pockets.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you ever seen like construction workers, like especially like on like state roads, and there's one person working, there's like 4 people watching him work.
Yeah.
Like how much money is wasted just by people supervising?
I'm not gonna say anything.
And they don't even do a good job and leave their nails everywhere.
Seriously, get flat
and
tires.
Then people like me get flat tires and got to buy new tires.
You bought a new tire because you had a nail in it? Why don't you just plug it?
It hit. No, it was on the side wall where you couldn't repair it.
That's a bummer. I hit a curb after getting my car fixed. It like peeled off the tire, but I still have it. It didn't pop.
Yep.
I live life dangerously.
But still, there should be a cleanup that make sure all this stuff is off the road.
More of the story is our generation was handed a burnt stick
Sorry.
A burnt piece of teriyaki jerky.
We were handed.
Honestly,
I feel like everyone just says we're crybabies and stuff, but we were literally handed
poop.
And they were like, here you go, fix it, because I don't care. I'm the last generation getting, like...
Well, who made us crybabies? Their generation.
Yeah.
They made us crybabies. They
like,
raised us like, oh, yeah, you get a trophy. You came in last place. My football team, when I moved up from South Carolina, we scored 2 touchdowns. 2, the whole season. 2.
I don't believe in participation trophies.
We got 2 touchdowns the whole season, and we had like MVPs and we had trophies. Like, we didn't do anything.
I don't believe in participation trophies.
Hudson High School basketball, 8th grade, there was 40 kids on the team because they had no cuts.
No.
And none of them played.
Nobody got playing time. Even the best kids, none of them got playing time.
I want to say, though, is it really like us crying, or are we actually standing up and questioning and basically being like...
It's both.
Well,
we're crying, but at the same time, we're also saying, hey, you left us with nothing.
It depends.
So if you're coming up with the solution to the problem, like, hey, the cost of living's too high, all these policies that came up with the last like 40 years made it so we're pretty much turning into a second world country.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it's sad that... Actually, no, that's a big box. I'm not going to open that box.
Yeah. But then there's also people who are like, I got a liberal arts degree. I have no qualifications. I don't want to work this job. I have no ambition, and they just want to hand out because they have a degree.
Yep.
It's both. I'm not going to say like we were handed a bum stick, but a lot of us don't have work ethic.
I will tell you this. I have worked with people, with kids out of college that had a computer science degree, and I didn't. And they came in thinking that they were going to be like bosses already, where it was like, no, they got hired to do the same job, regular grunt work. It's like, oh, go under that desk or whatever, unplug the computer. We need to bring it into the server room. I'm sorry, I have to do what? Like, what do you mean you have to do? What do you mean? What do you think you were going to come here and do? Be somebody's supervisor because you got a college degree? No.
Exactly.
And they don't like that. They don't like the fact that they have to do, low level 1 work or whatever when they think that they should already be an engineer. And it's like, what kind of experience do you have to be an engineer though? Yeah, you have a degree, but like, what kind of experience do you have? Degrees only can tell you so much.
I will never forget, there was one year I got put in like a pre-K room at daycare, and they gave me this new girl that we hired over the summer who was fresh out of college with her early childhood education degree, and she lasted 2 weeks and basically left crying, and she said she regrets getting her degree in this, and she didn't realize that this is what she was going to be doing. And I kind of felt bad because I was like, what did you think it was going to be like? Like, did they not make you work in daycare the entire time you had, like, were working towards your degree? And she said, no, they didn't really, like, make her have to do anything. She went and she, like, shadowed daycare teachers. She didn't actually have to do anything. I was just like, yeah.
And daycare teachers don't get paid squat.
Anything. Like, we don't get paid anything. And she's, like, fresh bachelor's degree, thought it was going to be this luxurious job, and it's not.
Go back to school and go for teaching.
She moved back to New York with her parents. I currently have her on Facebook, and I don't know what she's doing with her life right now, but she left.
What do you think the minimum salary should be for like a single person to sustain themselves? Like annual.
Minimum salary?
I think at least 45.
I would say gross or net?
After taxes.
Yeah, like 50.
I mean, not a lot of people. I mean, so I'll break it to you like this. To make 45, you have to be making gross 70 grand.
I know, but he said, how much do you think? That's what I think every single person should
After
have
taxes?
the privilege of making.
Sure.
Is 45 to 50,000.
I'll be a little bit
sustain themselves.
I'll be a little bit more realistic for you and say that someone to sustain themselves should at least after taxes be able to make 35,000.
That's
roughly 50 to 55 gross.
I
salary.
think I'm closer to Jeanette. I think it should be like 48,000 after
Yeah.
taxes, because that's like
Of
you're
course,
doing
but
taxes. You have enough to pay
what do
for
you
like
consider
cost of living.
sustain themselves though? Like buy a house and pay your
I'm
mortgage, or
talking.
you?
So I had this. This is a conversation I had with my dad earlier. I think so. My rent is $1,475. Right. This is the only place I could find for rent without any renter history.
Without coming to Clinton?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's just a no go. Even in Clinton, I couldn't find a place. They all just like you have
1,200 right across the street from me.
um 600 like $500 for car payment and insurance, like 200 for groceries a month. I ended up calculating I probably spend like $2,500 just on utilities and bills and all that
Yep.
stuff. And I was saying like $4,000 a month is enough for me to pay all my bills, indulge a little bit, save,
Save.
and like be like helpful to the economy. Because right now, if I'm paying all my bills, I'm not helping the economy at all. It's just going to stagnate, right? So I calculated like $48,000 would be optimal if like no tax was involved. Like $48,000 exact
Yeah.
would be enough for me to do everything I'm doing now,
Hmm.
and then just have breathing room. And that's without like,
Yeah.
and even like that's, you think about that, it's like not that much, right?
No.
It's probably 20% more than what I'm making now.
That's wild.
And that's probably what I made this last year with the like month and a half I was on unemployment and stimulus checks. I probably made about, I think I made $15,000 in like 2 months off unemployment.
Oh, why? Your place closed down?
Yeah, the route goes from March to like the end of May,
Oh shoot.
and then I collected up until.
Well, at least you knew you were coming back to a job though.
Yeah, I mean they didn't let me use any of my vacation time, any of my personal time. I was kind of bummed about that, but then I was like, I can get unemployment, and then they passed the extra $600. I've caught up on all my bills and everything.
Yeah. I mean, hey, the extra $600, I'm sure, definitely helped weekly.
So I was making what I made biweekly, weekly. And
Yeah.
then I was like, this is how much, this is like the minimum I would need to like live by myself.
Without getting like personal or whatever, I don't know. I've been hearing stories like, do you get taxed on your unemployment stuff?
I think the law just passed is that anything under $10,000 you don't have to pay tax for.
Okay.
And
Well,
then
so when I was on unemployment, they took out the taxes right there and then.
well, you can
Yeah, but I'm
opt for
talking
that.
about COVID though, like, because I feel like rules are a little.
Well,
bit
they
different.
just passed in the last stimulus that like anything
Yeah.
up to $10,000 you don't have to pay taxes on.
Oh, I don't know. I know that like unemployment itself, you get taxed, but you know it's still free money for not working.
Well, think how are you taxing tax money?
Make that
It's like
make sense.
it's like I always thought about that with like police and firefighters, like people who get paid from the state. Like, why are they paying taxes if their money comes from taxes? It doesn't make sense. Like, if you're a police officer, you shouldn't have to pay tax. Your money literally comes from tax money.
True.
Just give them
Shouldn't
like
we
10%
just pay
less
tax?
a year, right?
I don't understand why we pay so many taxes. Like, whatever. That's just a
Because
different
the
We
government
have a
doesn't
tax
have
for
to.
everything. We have a water
We
tax.
really
We have
do.
a
How are you
food
gonna-
tax. We have a service tax. We have a tax.
I get taxed on my taxes.
Yeah, you get taxed on money you pay tax for.
But I can't say where my taxes go.
I always thought we should have a survey when you fill out taxes, or like what department you want your taxes to go to. Like if you
Yes.
want to pay,
Yep.
like
What percentage of your taxes would you like to send this towards?
no,
Like,
like
why can't
not
I
that detailed,
say-
like preference.
No, but say I want mine to go into education, okay? Then I check off the education box. Or if people do want to do it to law enforcement, okay, check off law enforcement box. Like, it doesn't have to be super specific, but if I want to help something out.
That's the one thing Sean said when we interviewed him, that there's a lot of waste in government. That just shouldn't, like, if you just cut that out.
Yeah.
Also, I think we should get rid of sales tax and just bury New Hampshire.
Basically.
Yeah.
So I had a question that I thought of. It kind of went along with Michael's question earlier.
Sure.
Since
This is
we're
the
all
last question.
history, what era would you want to go back to? Why? And what would you be in that era? I know that's super detailed, but I was like, hey, we all like history, so.
What era would I want to go back to? Why? And what would I want to do in that era?
I mean, you don't have to answer all the questions, but like,
So,
yeah.
I can go for. I already have it in my head. I would want to go back to like biblical times, like.
Really?
Let's say I would want to go back to like 33 AD or 32 AD, and I want to be in Israel, and I would just want to see everything that was going on then. Because
and experience it for yourself.
I want to know if it's true. Right now we're just going off of it. Like,
I hear you.
I'm religious. I got a cross right there. I go to church regularly. I read the Bible. I watch religious stuff all the time. But I still have that doubt. Like, did this happen this way? Is it lost in translation? And I would just want to see it exactly the way it was, you know?
I
So
know what you're gonna say.
You know what I'm gonna say. Before I tell you mine, I tell my wife all the time, who's to say that the Bible isn't one big game of telephone?
It is.
So, it was one thing passed down to another, who was then passed down to another. And what happened when we played telephone? And all you had to say was the boy was wearing red shorts and a straw hat. And it got down to somebody, by the end of it, it was like the girl was wearing a pink dress. Like,
well, so, and I'm actually happy Jose isn't here for this because he's really touchy on the subject.
Yeah.
He's not really open-minded when it comes to it, which is fine. I respect it. But so, Edwin, are you Catholic?
No, he's not.
Were you brought up in anything?
No.
You wear a cross.
Huh?
Don't you wear a cross?
No.
Yeah.
This guy?
Yeah.
Right here?
Yeah.
That's an upside down T.
Okay. So you're
That's for style.
What does your lowercase t mean for you? Just before I get this. Just before I get this little history lesson up there, right?
Huh?
If you were to go to church, what church would you go to?
I don't know, man. I've been to churches. I've been to a Catholic church. I've been to a Methodist church. I've been to
your family. Like your family. If your family goes to church, what church are they going to? Like no one in your family. Nobody.
They went to a Methodist church.
The one down the street.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Methodist is cool. Okay. Anyways, so the Catholic Church, the Orthodox Church, the Egyptian Coptic Church, and I don't know what the church in India is called. They were all formed by apostles that just spread out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the books in the New Testament are the letters back and forth to each other, right? So I always had this conflict where, like, you hear people like Jose and they're saying, well, that's not in the Bible. But I'm like, all these churches existed before the Bible. And all the churches that are very like the Bible, they're all like American revivalist churches like Baptist and Evangelical and those ones. Yeah. And my problem is, why aren't churches teaching the ancient scriptures to their congregations, right?
Yeah.
If the original Bible was written, or the Old Testament was written in Greek and Hebrew, then you should be taught that from an early age to be able to understand what they're saying. Because my Bible I have over there is like the 1962 revision of the American Catholic Bible, right? Which is kind of like the King James, where it's an almost direct, makes sense translation of it, but it's a translation from Latin, which is translated from Greek, which is translated from Aramaic.
Yeah.
And you speak two languages, so just translating from one language to another language is just stuff you can't translate, where you have to like kind of
make up words.
Not make up words, like a suggestion.
Yeah.
You add razzle dazzle to it.
Yeah, so like you can say something in another language and have to come up with the closest thing in the other language, but it doesn't really mean the same thing. It's like te conozco bacalao aunque vengas disfrazado, right? That makes no sense in English. Translate that. What does that mean in English?
What'd you say?
Te conozco bacalao.
Te conozco bacalao.
You know my bacalao?
He don't speak Spanish. You see? It's an idiom, dude.
It's probably like...
You said te conozco bacalao.
Aunque vengas disfrazado. I know you're a codfish even though you're in disguise is a direct translation of it. But it means like I know
yeah.
Like it's raining cats and dogs. If I said it was raining cats and dogs, translate that to Spanish.
Está lloviendo perros y gatas.
Does that make sense in Spanish?
No, they'd be like, what?
Exactly. So you have to be like, oh, it's raining a lot. That's what he said, you know?
Yeah.
And it loses its meaning. Now translate that from English to Spanish to German to Russian.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Hey, I mean, I guess my era would not be that. I would want to go back to medieval times and see if we really had dragons.
There was no dragon.
And you don't know. And I would want to see, like, you know, with like the plague and everything, how people really did just drop and stuff like that. Like what it was the times like. Like, hopefully I don't get my head cut off, but you know,
you would.
It's kind of the same time though.
Why would you want to see the Black Plague? You realize that if you're close enough to see it,
but I want to see dragons first.
He probably is immune to it because a lot of people who survived were immune to it.
We didn't say he survived. He just said he wanted to be there during.
Well, no, but he has, you know, he hates when I say this, but he has European ancestry, and those Europeans would have survived the Black Plague, you know.
Yeah.
We talk.
Well, I still would have liked to. I would still go back to the medieval times. I've always liked medieval era history and stuff. I understand it's dirty, but every history has their own dirty.
Okay, so what would you be in that time?
What would I be?
Yeah.
A Nighthawk.
Or Nighthawk.
He's like, I'm Jon Snow.
That's it. I know that's what you're talking about, by the way.
No, it's really not. Yes, I was thinking of Black Knight.
Right. Game of Thrones.
No.
Daenerys.
Or Dark Knight, not Black Knight. Is it Dark Knight?
Black Knight. The Black Knight. Martin Lawrence.
Martin Lawrence.
Yes,
he's going to fall asleep. He's going to be from, what is it? Crenshaw, Normandy.
Yeah.
No, Florence, Normandy. Is that where he was? He's like, yeah, Florence, Normandy.
No, he said he was from Crenshaw.
In Normandy.
Oh, he said Compton. He said Compton.
No, but he said he's
of Normandy though.
Yeah, because Normandy is a place in France.
Yeah. Compton of Normandy.
Well, I would go back to the civil rights movement. I know that's not a long time ago, but I would love to be
50
part
years
of it.
ago? No, wait.
60.
60, 70 years ago now?
Isn't it wild that literally we know people that were like there?
My mom was born in 1964.
Like, they make it seem like it was so long ago to us, but it really wasn't.
It wasn't.
Literally just happened. Really like wasn't. My Grammy's older than that. Not by a lot, but.
Yeah, I think you're going to have a lot of fun being discriminated against at that time because you look like you're half black and half white. And
I know.
You will make a good companion for Rosa Parks.
I want to be a panther.
I want to live through it. Yeah. I want to fight.
She wants to join the Black Panthers and see what it was about. See what they were really all about.
I mean, I just am obsessed with that stuff. So I like that era. I like learning about it, reading about it.
Everything. If you want to see a movie about that or whatever, I just watched Judas, the Black Judas and the Messiah.
Judas and the Black Messiah?
Yeah, that was what it was. Judas and the Black Messiah. That was a good movie.
I didn't know all that history though.
I did too. It was a good movie. Like, it was a good movie. Messed up, but
it is. I mean,
did you watch the movie?
No, but I know what happened.
You know the character? Yeah.
He was a Hugh Newton? No. Was it Hugh Newton? No, it was someone else.
No,
I know
joined the Black
Fred
Panthers
Hampton.
to become
Fred Hampton.
to become.
He was assassinated by the federal government because he was helping the black people, and it's a shame.
No. So the real I don't know his name. I forget his name. So the guy, the person who helped the feds against the Black Panthers that assassinated Fred Hampton, you were saying, it was crazy at the fact that he killed himself in like the early 90s after they spoke to him after the documentary. So this is a true story. After they had a documentary, they filmed the documentary. They went to his home and they had him talk about it and why he did everything. And as soon as they left that night, he hung himself.
Good, he deserves to. Like
all this information that was going to get leaked and you know what I mean?
Yeah, like our government is shady, and we need to realize we need to get to the point where we don't hold individuals responsible, but we hold the whole system responsible. Because if individuals are just working with what they have,
Yeah.
And
self-preservation is a thing. So people are gonna save themselves before they
still
save
in
their
it,
community.
girl. She says, Jedi.
I don't even know who said that.
It was Karen. Still in it. I feel like she joined you in the civil movement.
It's by Aries Fire.
We are, but we're not. You know.
Well, we got another 8 minutes left, so let's I guess wrap it up. And we have Jordanette right there. Damn it, got it right there. New esthetician. Opening her business May 1st. Oasis at 4D.com is her website, who was created by her and moi. And book your sessions, man. Book your services, book your sessions. Tell your wives, tell your husbands, tell your mothers, your fathers.
Mother's Day is coming up.
You opened at the perfect time because Mother's Day is coming up.
I know, and I have something strategic coming up.
And then Father's Day and Edwin's birthday.
Yup.
All right, Michael, are you going to ask me the infamous question?
Yeah.
I'm like, I've been waiting since opening week.
Oh,
it's the apocalypse.
It's the apocalypse, and there's only one last song you can listen to. What would it be?
Dang it! Now I don't know because I was on a bad budget.
And you answer it every single week too in the chat.
I do. It is Meek Mill's.
Oh,
intro.
No.
Dreams and Nightmares.
Oh, what is it called?
Yeah, Dreams and Nightmares.
Dreams and Nightmares.
Hold on, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished?
The whole thing just popped every time.
Yo, I could have swore I saw Jordan Lucas drive by me today.
Like I'm in
You
this
what?
spinach.
I could have swore I saw Jordan Lucas drive by me today. It was a really nice white Bentley with really dark windows.
I was going to say
Worcester. He was in Worcester.
And he's in LA too all the time, so I don't know.
He's in Worcester today, though.
Does he have a white Bentley?
I don't know, but I think it was
it's probably on his Instagram, like a really nice white Bentley. I'm like, yo, this is nice.
Maybe.
Like, that's a nice Bentley. And then like the window was tinted, but it kind of had his like silhouette. I almost crashed into him. Like, dude, I can't believe you destroyed my Lincoln.
But you crashed into him.
Don't you know how to yield at a rotary? I'm just playing. Let's get him on the podcast.
Let's get. Hey, if anybody knows Joyner Lucas, ask him if he'd like to join the H-Town, a hometown podcast.
I know someone who says he was his cousin or his uncle
for free.
And I know someone who is from Auburn who has pictures with him before he was famous.
Oh yeah, no, I know the people that hang out with him.
Yes, but at the same time, would you rather have Joyner Lucas on or
Well, Joyner's local, so I guess I'd have Joyner, yeah.
Joyner Lucas or Big Papi?
Ew.
Like David Ortiz, Big Papi?
Yeah.
Joyner Lucas.
Joyner Lucas.
Big Papi, dude.
Big Papi.
First of all, who's going to get more?
First of all, Joyner, I mean, Big Papi wouldn't even do it for free.
First off, a lot of the people watching probably don't even know who Big Papi is.
David Ortiz, El Papi.
Dude, you don't even know.
Everyone in Massachusetts knows Big Papi.
I ran into someone who didn't know who Bob Marley was.
Yeah,
I was like,
he's not a Massachusetts resident.
It's Bob Marley.
He's been dead for so long.
It doesn't matter. He's iconic.
Not more than David Ortiz in Massachusetts.
I guess. Yeah. Maybe it's just because I'm not that big into baseball, but
I'm not a baseball fan at all.
Okay, so what would you talk about? Baseball.
David Ortiz won 3 championships with the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah.
So that's still baseball.
Yeah, but like the Red Sox didn't win from like 1901 to like 2004.
And they have the most championships of any team in that span.
So what would your interview be?
They got five rings, right? In a span of 25 years, 20 years?
Yeah, but that doesn't count. That's back. None of those count.
No, I'm saying in the last 20 years, they have 5 championships.
Since 2004, they won in 04, they won
07,
in 07, they won in
2011 or 13 or whatever. Then 15.
Nope. 2017. They only have 4. Let's go. Like, yeah, they're winning. Like,
that's more than anyone else, not named the Patriots.
David Ortiz, people are going to be like, oh, man, I can't believe Dorson's on. Do you remember Dorson?
No.
He's from Hudson. He was like the big black dude who used to hang out with Caesar in Francisco.
I don't remember him.
He's like your boy David, but like twice his size.
Jeez.
He's huge, like a monster of a man. And he looks just like him. A little bit older than you, I guess. Different era than you. But you would have saw him playing ball at the park.
I don't remember. Was he good at ball?
No, he was just a monster. He was like 6'5". He was like 300 pounds of solid muscle.
No, that's not. It's not the kid that I know. I remember
he would play with Francisco and Cesar Sanchez. That's like
no.
Goal there.
I don't remember him. I remember the kids that were from Boston that moved to Hudson or whatever, and they were really good at ball. But they were older than us by like 5 years.
The first person I dunked on was not Bones.
The other kid, yeah, his cousin. Yeah, not Bones. I'm thinking
the one who lived in Marlboro, the one who went to Marlboro and then came to Hudson. What was his name?
Mm-hmm. I don't remember.
But I did a pick and roll with Terrence, and I went up.
He was built like Dwayne Wade.
No, not Pat. Not Pat.
It is Pat. That's the one that I'm thinking of.
I'm thinking
he was like 6'2", 6'3", or whatever, and
no, this is their cousin. He went to Marlboro first, and then he came to Lance. His name is Lance. But he went to Hudson High, but he never like went to classes. But Terrence, I did a pick and roll. T-Money hit me with the pass, and I had a perfect lane. And when I went up to do a layup, he put his hand up like that, and it boosted me, and I just caught that shit back. Boom! I was like 16. The first time I ever dunked on anybody, completely stopped the game, and they're all making fun of him for getting dunked on by a white boy. And I was like, it happens when you step on my court, you get killed. You know what I'm saying? This is my turf.
Oh my God, I can totally.
Oh man! All right. Well, this is the H-Town, a Hometown podcast, and we are signing off. Jose never made it. We're gonna get on him for that next time.
Or we can replace him. Leave it in the comments if you want us to replace him with Edwin's wife. Then I'm a fan.
All right.
Do it.
Y'all have a good night. Wait, did you? Oh, you said Meek Mill. I was like, did you ever answer his question?
Yeah.
Dreams and nightmares.
That's a gangster song to go out to.
I used to pray for times like this, to rhyme like this.
Yo, he has the best intros, but the worst albums.
Yeah.